Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us in the Dakota Dome Club today as we welcome back to campus Todd Lee. And we'll hear from Coach Lee and Athletic Director David Herbster in just a moment. We'll have time for questions. But first, let's bring to the podium the president of the University of South Dakota, James Abbott.
Thank you very much. Days like this are always fun. Great fun. I have to say, I should feel sorry for David Herbster and David Williams for having to spend their entire time at the Final Four interviewing candidates who wanted this job. And, but I also have to say how much fun it is when the fact is that you have an awful lot of people to interview because an awful lot of people feel that this is a great position. And I think our fans and our players would be commended for building a program that so many people want to be a part of. And I think as it turned out, we were able to choose the person that not only everyone wanted as their first choice, but also somebody who is a graduate of USD. It's always great to come home. I'm always pleased to introduce David Herbster. He's been a great athletic director. He is particularly good I was thinking last week about how much fun the women's basketball tournament, the postseason tournament was here, and all those great games, and the fact that we had so many games here at USD. And what a great job David and the rest of the staff did in making sure that we played where we wanted to play at USD. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Athletic Director David Herbster.
This won't work. You know what? Thank you, Jim, first and foremost, but also this really is a fun day. When you can turn the reins over to a program, not only of an alum, but someone who's an exceptional coach, person, leader, teacher. Those were instrumental. Those are really big key qualities that we were looking for, and really those are qualities that we look for in all of our coaches. I wanted a couple of thank yous and acknowledgments I just want to make sure I hit on first before we proceed. First and foremost is President Abbott. Thank you. His vision, his counsel, his leadership, he talked about us having to spend time at the Final Four working on this. Well, he got sucked in too because he was there with us. But after sitting down with the candidates over the course of about 3 days, I'll back up just 1 second. So he was right. Dave Williams and I spent our time at the Final Four thinking that we had some donors with us, and it was going to be a little more of a stewardship trip and really talking about basketball and the future of the program. It really turned into a working trip. Now, if you have an open head basketball coach's job and you're in athletic administration and you go to the Final Four, you're really popular. Now, if you go to the Final Four and you're looking for a head basketball coach and you're 6'9", you can't hide when you're at the Final Four. But it really was, it was extremely rewarding to see how people viewed the University of South Dakota, the level of interest and the level of interest by what I would consider some very, very high quality coaches. During this process as well, we had a consultant, Eddie Fogler, that we worked with that really helped us sift through the names, was a little bit of the gatekeeper, though I'm always amazed at how people find your cell phone number, can get a hold of you. So he was vital in our process. The other part I really want to thank David Williams, Deputy Athletic Director, did as much work in this process, if not more. As connected as he is in the basketball world, this process doesn't happen like it did without him. And certainly, Sue, thank you for you and your family for giving him to me for about 2 weeks to get this done. Also, need to make sure I just acknowledge and recognize my wife for putting up with me for the 2 weeks when this whole thing was going around. She does a good job of kind of walking on eggshells at times and knowing what to ask and when not to ask anything. But like I went back and reiterated, when we looked at what qualities we needed to have in a head coach, it was really no different than what we were looking for when we hired Don Plitzowite or when we hired Bob Nielsen, when we hired Michael Thomas, our soccer coach, Kyle Joplin, our triathlon coach. I mean, it's been a busy couple years here for us, but the qualities that we are looking to instill in our young men and women really go well beyond the game itself. They kind of move past that and making sure that what we find in our coaches are the people that can teach and lead our young men and women to be better players, better students, better roommates, ultimately better fathers, husbands, wives, brothers, sisters. To me, that's what matters. And that's what resonated so much to me with Coach Lee. Very much a like mind when it comes to those factors and really what's important. So with that, I'm more than happy to welcome our 18th head basketball coach at the University of South Dakota, and certainly welcome maybe the better portion of the family, and that is his wife, Kim, and the sons, Carson, Jackson, and Peyton. And with that, I give you your 18th basketball coach at the University of South Dakota, Todd Lee.
Well, this won't work either, so I got to move this down. Wow, this is great to see everybody, and to see the passion behind this program and the way it's grown. As you know, I graduated in 1986 from here, and not just me, but my father graduated from here. My brother graduated from here and got his master's from here, and my uncle graduated from here. So we have one black sheep in the family. That's my mom. She's a state grad, and but she's going to become a Coyote fan, obviously, and we always had a lot of fun when they played each other. But now she is a USD fan, so we're happy about that. I have a lot of family here. Most of my family live in Sioux Falls, and I've been at a lot of different places coaching. Most of my career has been in California. I've been in Kentucky. I've been in Arizona. Spent 2 years in the CBA in Rapid City, South Dakota. Lived at the Hilton Hotel, coached the Rapid City Thrillers with Eric Musselman. It is great to be back in my home state and be around family, to be around people that you love. This is a great honor to be named coach at my alma mater. And there's such a great tradition of winning. The program is in great shape. We've got great young men in the program. They're used to winning. They've won a championship. They got to the championship game last year of the Summit League. What I've been hired to do is hopefully take it one more step, get to the NCAA tournament, win games in the NCAA tournament. That's going to be our goal. I want to thank President Abbott. Been great to get to know you. I know you know my brother, Mark, Dave Herbster, Dave Williams, for believing in me, giving me this opportunity. One of the main things that attracted me to the job is the administration. When I met with Dave, and Eddie Fogler at the Final Four, their vision for what they want for the athletic department, not just basketball, for the whole athletic department, the student-athlete experience sold me. If you're going to win at the Division I level in basketball, you have to have an administration that is all in. You've got to have the administration behind you, supporting you, giving you the resources to win. And they are all in. And I really appreciate that. And once I sat down with Dave and Dave at the Final Four, and we talked, I knew this was a place for me. I wanted to come back home if I could, to be near my family. I wanted an opportunity to be a Division I head coach. I've been a Division II head coach for 8 years, and I've been at Division I for a long time. But once I heard their vision, it was great. As Dave talked about, we're going to win. We're going to win the right way. We're going to win in the classroom. We're going to win in the community. We're going to win. We're going to win as people, as representatives of our university. I've got a former player here, Jay Ivey, came all the way up here from Houston, flew up here. He's my favorite player I ever coached. And he is the type of person that we want coming out of this program. We've got great young men in the program now. And we're going to be a team that the university, the city of Vermilion, and the state of South Dakota is going to be proud to represent. Our goals, as I mentioned, first of all, I want to thank Craig Smith. This program's in great shape. I've taken over programs that didn't have players, that weren't winning, or I've taken over a program that was on NCAA probation. This program's in great shape. We've got great young men. They're used to winning, as I said. I'm close friends with Dave Boots. This program has a long tradition of winning, and that's going to continue. We're just going to take the next step. Every year, we're going to have a goal of winning the regular season championship. We're going to have a goal of winning the tournament championship. And we're going to have a goal of getting to the NCAA tournament and winning games in the NCAA tournament. I'm not going to shy away from that. That's going to be our goal. That's what I'm going to talk to the players about. It's going to be extremely hard. This is not going to be easy. I'm going to push them. We're going to do it together, but we're going to reach that goal. And we're going to do that for the university and for the administration that gave me this opportunity. David mentioned also the effect that you can have on young people. Talked about the importance of coaching and how you can affect young people, change their lives. I think that's the best thing about being a college basketball coach. You know, we all get to compete at a lot of different things, but the effect you can have on young people, watching them come in as a freshman, not knowing anything, not knowing how to practice, not knowing, and by the time they're a junior, they start leading your program. By the time they're a senior, they're leading, they're running your, they're correcting you, they're telling you what you're doing wrong. And then they go out and they become professionals. They go out and they become great husbands, and they go out and they become great fathers. And that's the most satisfying part about being a coach. The great thing is we get to compete and play games along with those learning experiences. But that's the greatest part about the job I do. We're going to be about player development. I don't think you can be a great mid-major program without player development. Players are going to improve. Players are going to get better. But we're also going to be about people development. Leaders, leaders in the classroom, leaders in the community, leaders on the court, leaders on campus. We spend a lot of time working with guys, not just on basketball, but how to improve as a person, how to get better, and reach their goals. We're going to have a team that cares about each other. I think when you come watch our teams play, we're going to play with passion, we're going to play with toughness, we're going to play for each other, and the fans are going to feel that. Our students are going to feel that. As a coach, and when I went through the interview process, you know, they asked me about what type of players I like, what type of players I recruit. I've always get along, and I always recruit tough players, guys that care about the team, and guys that love the game. And if you can find those qualities in young men, you're going to have a great program. Yeah, I know you've read my bio a little bit, but man, I can't even begin to thank the number of people that affected my life in coaching. First of all, my mom is here. My dad is in heaven watching this, being a grad. Can't imagine what he's thinking. You know, my brother couldn't be here today, but he wanted to come. I've worked with some great coaches. My first coach was Hank Egan at the University of San Diego. Hank graduated from the Naval Academy and then coached 18 years at the Air Force Academy. You can imagine the discipline, the toughness, and the loyalty he is about. I learned so much from him. Then I went to the CBA and coached with Eric Musselman. Eric is a great coach. Everybody knows what he's doing at Nevada, but he's the youngest coach to ever win 100 games professional basketball. We worked 2 years together. We had the best record in the CBA, living in Rapid City. It was an unbelievable experience. I got to coach pros. I've coached over 40 players that played in the NBA. He is an unbelievable person, still one of my best friends. Pat Douglas, if you don't know who that is, unbelievable coach. I coached with him for 11 years. He went at Cal State Bakersfield. He went to 7 straight Final Fours. He won 3 national championships in 5 years. He's in the Hall of Fame in every college he ever coached. And I was lucky enough to be with him for 11 years. I learned so much. Grand Canyon University, I need to thank President Brian Mueller. Similar to our trip to San Antonio, or the trip to San Antonio where we met, 5 years previously I was in Atlanta, and I met with Brian Mueller, the president of the university, Mr. Jerry Colangelo, and then Jerry Colangelo run USA Basketball, runs the Hall of Fame, owned the Suns, owned the Diamondbacks. I mean, you can go on and on about his life. And I met with Dan Marley. They interviewed me, similar to my interview in San Antonio, and they called me back 2 hours later and offered me the job. When I interviewed with Dave, and Eddie Fogler, I got a call back 2 hours later. They offered me the job. So I must have done all right in the interviews. Dan Marley, head coach, Grand Canyon University, played 14 years in the NBA. 13 of those years, he went to the playoffs. He's the toughest dude I've ever been around. It's not even close. There are so many 6'6" guys that look like him walking around. He played 14 years in the NBA. He probably could have played 3 different professional sports. He was on the 1988 Olympic team. He was the leading scorer of the 1988 Olympic team. He was the male athlete of the year for the United States. He owns 5 restaurants. He's a scratch golfer. He's an unbelievable person. He was my coach for the last 5 years. That was not an easy job to leave. The reason why I left it was because of this. The reason why I left it is because of the possibility of what can happen here and what we're going to do here. I talked to Dan, or Coach Marley, a lot while we were down at the Final Four. He basically said, you got to take the job. Don't want you to leave, got to take the job. We're best friends. We'll still be friends. Trust each other. We're going to talk a lot. We're going to help each other a lot. We've got a lot of work to do in front of us. I've talked to every player on the team. I've met with some of them. I'm going to meet with them in the next day or so. Explain the vision of the program that I have. Get to know them as young men and what they expect and what their vision of the program is and what their goals are. I'm putting together our staff. I know we've got games to schedule. I don't have anything in the office yet. I'm trying to figure everything out. This has been a whirlwind within a week. I'm, back at the Final Four. I flew home one day and flew back out here. But I cannot tell you how excited I am to be your basketball coach. And when you come to games, you're going to see passion, you're going to see energy, you're going to see the team caring for each other, and we're going to fight and do whatever we can to reach our goals of not only winning the championship, but winning the tournament championship and getting to the NCAA tournament. And a dream of mine, I'd be the first coach in University of South Dakota history to take the team to Division I national tournament. And that's what we're going to do. And when we get there, we're going to win. That's what we're going to do. And so I really appreciate everybody coming out. This is an unbelievable turnout. I can see the passion for the program. And you're going to enjoy watching us play. We've got a great group of young men. We hope they all come back. I'm going to be meeting with them. As I said, we got a lot of work to do in the next 2 to 3 weeks before school's out. Thank you all for coming out. If there's any questions, I'll take those now.
Yeah, we have 2 microphones here, one in the back, and we'll open it up for questions from the media only. And please wait for a microphone for the question. We will start, Mr. Gary.
Coach, what are your first 2 weeks here, first 3 weeks, first the month? What are your highest priorities? Your most important things you got to get done right away?
First of all, the team. You know, the team has gone through. Anytime there's a change with the coaching staff, there's so much stuff up in the air. Guys are trying to figure out what they're going to do. They don't know who the next coach is going to be. They're meeting with the administration. What I want to do is I want to meet with the team individually the guys on the team individually, which I'm going to do. I've already met with a couple of them. And I want them to get to know me, and I want to get to know them. And then we're going to start working out next week. We still got 2 weeks of workouts, so we can do that the next couple of weeks. And that will give them a feel of the type of coach I am, what I think is important, how we're going to develop them as players. So I think the biggest thing is the team, because these are young men are going through a lot. You know, they've gone through a lot in the last couple of weeks. Then it's my staff. I got to put together a staff. Don't know about the current staff that is here already. We're meeting with them also to find out if they what their goals are. That's a big one. So the team, the staff, and then recruiting. If possible, don't know if we still have scholarships available. Don't know what's going to happen there. We've got to finish a schedule. Those would be the top 4 priorities.
Coach Mark Freund with KTIV at Sioux City. Just wondering, what's the type of player that fits your system, your style of play, the guys you're going to recruit down the road? What do those players look like?
Tough, skilled, smart, good size for their position. Care about team. You know, I think the biggest thing we've got to find, as I said, the guys need to be tough. They need to care about the team, and they need to love the game. I think at our level, it helps to have skilled players, players that can shoot the ball. But you know, you can make up for some of that with toughness and competitiveness. But we are going to find guys that you know, that are skilled, good size for their position, tough. And we're going to recruit players that care about the team and care about the program more than they care about themselves.
Coach, what are you talked about the priorities off the floor. How about on the floor, X's and O's standpoint? How does what you do or what you want to do align with what's been established here over the last 4 years?
Well, they've had a lot of success. But it's, and I'll meet with the team and talk to them about that, and I've already done that, but with a couple of them. The system is, first of all, we play man-to-man defense, and we're going to be the most prepared team in the country. I can guarantee you that. This year, we were top 10 in the country in field goal percentage defense. We led the country in three-point field goal percentage defense by 2 full percentage points. We were by far the best team in the country defending the three. We were the top 10 in the country defending overall. We will be the best prepared defensive team in the country, bar none. And they're going to know when they go out on the court everything about what I want or how we're going to play and what the opponent does and their strengths and take those away. Offensively, it's pretty simple. We're going to push the ball. We're going to push the ball on misses and turnovers. We're going to get up and we're going to go. We're going to try to get a shot before the other team sets up. We'll run some quick secondary break stuff. And then after that, we'll run pretty simple offense based on what guys can do. And I don't want to make this a basketball X's and O's deal, but if a guy can shoot it, we're going to set screens for him. If a guy can post, we're going to post him up. If a guy can come off a ball screen, he's going to come off ball screens. That's about as simple as it gets. And then we're going to take good shots. We're going to be a great rebounding team. We're going to work on that, because all that leads into toughness and winning, and that's what it's going to be about.
Coach Elliot Nathan with KSFY here in Sioux Falls. Throughout your career, you've had tremendous amount of success at every stop: a national championship at Bakersfield, 5 NCAA tournaments at Wesleyan, Grand Canyon. And that success there in the 5 seasons. What, in your opinion, is the common thread between all your stops in terms of your success, and how can that carry over into USD here in Vermillion?
Well, one, when I was associate head coach or with coaches, we had, great coaches that I was with. But then at Wesleyan, obviously, I was a head coach. I think the biggest thing is, and anybody who knows me, I'm the same intense, same person every day. I'm the same, I do the same thing every day. The players will get to know me, and I'm going to cheer them on every day, and I'm going to get on them every day. And my former player can tell you, I am the exact same every day. I don't change. You're going to know exactly what you're going to get. I prepare extremely hard. I don't have much else, I take care. I have a lot with my family, but I don't do much else. The most important thing will be getting these guys developed and get them into a team where we can win. I don't know the answer to that. I guess I work extremely hard, and I feel like I prepare our team as good as anybody in the country. That's what I feel like.
Coach Zach Borg with KDLT Television, NBC out of Sioux Falls. At Grand Canyon, you and Dan Marley and that administration built a pretty big fan following in a professional market. The attendance there was pretty strong. This place, there have been some empty seats at a lot of games throughout the last couple of years, despite the wins. What did you learn there that you could hopefully bring over here to maybe increase the interest, the attendance, something akin to what you probably saw in the 80s or in the Division II era when this place was, even in the Dome, selling a lot of tickets?
Well, I think the one thing that's unique about Grand Canyon is their student body involvement, and they do a great job of getting the students out to the games, not just to watch the games, but to have a whole fan experience. I think if we can, look, everybody watches college basketball and enjoys it when the students are going crazy. That's when they have the most fun. So whatever I can do to get our students out to the game, to have our team connect with our student body, I think that would help. If we can get a student section where they're passionate about it and they want, they're coming to every game, the season ticket holders and the people that show up are going to have a lot more fun. I think that was a unique situation at Grand Canyon. But and I'll do whatever I can, because the home court advantage in college basketball, I think the toughest thing to do in sports is win at another person's gym. I think it really is in college basketball. So we need to build as much as many fans as we can get out to the games, and get our students out to the games, have them create that atmosphere and the energy, and they'll feed off our team. And if we can do that, we'll have a great home court advantage.
Coach, second stint as a head coach, obviously experience at Kentucky Wesleyan. What's the biggest takeaway from that first go-around running a program that you're going to bring into this one?
Well, when you first take over a program, you haven't been a head coach. I don't care who it is, it's an adjustment period. I don't feel like I have an adjustment period. That's over. And I feel like, that the administration knows that we have a very good team right now, and they wanted a coach that's had head coaching experience. When when I first got to Kentucky Wesleyan, it's a completely different situation. No team and some NCAA issues from the previous staff, but I think I'm prepared to be a head coach. But I'll say this too: when I was at Grand Canyon, I prepared every game like I was the head coach. Everything offensively, everything defensively. Now I did every scout and I did all the defense, but I prepared just like I was the head coach. And I coached like I was the head coach. Now I didn't get to yell at refs like Dan did, but I coached like I was the head coach, you know, in practice and everything. So this is completely different from the first time I was at Kentucky Wesleyan.
Coach, you said you won't shy away from the goal of winning tournament championships and getting the NCAA tournament and winning in the NCAA tournament. How do you go about that? Because this program certainly has been close. How do you take that next step? Well,
It's not just from it's the hard work every day. It's the preparation. It's developing players. I think when you look at mid-major programs that do have success in the tournament, a lot of times they have older players that have been in the program. You develop them. They have a certain skill level. They defend really well. And then they get, and as you all know, you maybe get a break and somebody gets upset. All of a sudden you're in a Sweet 16. If you win your first game, you're playing against a different. It's all, once you get in that, you don't know what's going to happen. From our standpoint, it'll be about player development, toughness development, developing their skills, having guys in the program that have bought in or are bought in, and then just developing that over time. And then these guys have been, as I said, won a championship in the regular season. Tough loss. Then, you know, last year got to the championship. They're so close. And look, everybody wants to win the championship and get to the NCAA tournament. So let's put it out there, and that's what we're going to do. So I don't know what else to tell you about that.
Coach, you kind of alluded to this, but whenever there's a change, obviously it's tough on players who were accustomed to the last coach. We know at least one player is considering a transfer. You almost kind of have to re-recruit guys. What do you tell them if they are on the fence about why they should stay here and play for you?
Well, what I tell them, give me a chance. Give me an opportunity. Meet me. Come work out with me. You know, I've got great relationships with all my former players, and I've got great relationships with all my former administrations, former coaches. I've been doing this for 30 years. I've won at every level. Come and work out. Meet me. Let's talk. Now, I will say this, and I told Dave Williams this earlier, and I told Dave Herbster this. If a player wants to leave, I don't want him to leave. But if a player wants to leave, then he's got to leave. I mean, we want people that want to be here. And if a player leaves, we're still going to win because we win. So we're going to win. So I don't know. I want guys that want to be here. But if we don't, there are a lot of players out there. This is a very special place. You know, beautiful arena, great practice facility. I mean, this is state of the art right here. What Dr. Abbott's done and what our administration done. This is unbelievable. So we'll find players. I want everybody to stay. I don't want anybody to leave. If you decide you want to leave, good luck. I'll support you, and we'll go find somebody else. And we're going to win. So that's kind of my approach.
Coach Sean Bauer, Kello TV in Sioux Falls. When you got into coaching, did you ever see yourself, you know, coming kind of full circle back to USD?
No. No, I didn't.
And then just, you know.
You know, I'm not a person that is an agenda coach or a job-seeking coach. I told Dave at the interview, the only jobs I'm going to get is if I go somewhere where somebody knows me because they've experienced what I'm about. Every place I've ever coached, they always call me back for an interview, or I'm still tight with them. I have been offered other Division I jobs, but as I said before, this is special. You know, this is an administration that really wants to do it the right way. There is winning tradition here. So I didn't envision me being back in South Dakota and coaching at USD. I always stayed in touch with Coach Boots. Dave Williams and I have known each other for a long time. I always stay in touch with him, and he obviously was my athletic director for a couple of years. I always watch the program. I always follow the scores. I always watch whenever they're on TV. I didn't envision I'd be back here as the head coach. No, I didn't. But, and again, being close to my family, that's a bonus. Being at my alma mater, that's a bonus. But the reason why this is great is because of the tradition, the administration, the facilities, the opportunity to win big here.
Like you mentioned with student involvement and community involvement, with the short period of time you have for the rest of this year, what do you plan on doing to try to get this community involved?
Well, and I haven't been back here for a long time, so I'm going to rely on our administration to let me know what we need to do to try to get the community involved. When the students get back on campus, I mean, I'll do whatever I can while they're still here for the next few weeks. And then when the students get back on campus, getting involved in whatever I need to do to get our students out. What I want our students to come out and see these and support these guys. And here's the other thing. I want our guys supporting the other programs. I want our guys supporting everybody. I want the whole, I mean, that's how it's fun, when everybody's supporting everybody. You know, we can't have our guys expect support if they're not going to go out and support the other programs and other things on campus. So I want our guys involved in campus activities and different things so that our students know our guys and believe in our guys, and then when they come to the game, they're going to see the passion, the excitement, and the toughness our guys play with, and the togetherness. And then hopefully we build it, and it keeps going. We've got to have a great home court advantage. That's such a big thing in college basketball.
Coach, last question in the back.
Coach, I don't want to single out any one program, but you're an in-state guy. There are a lot of people in this room that have a certain disdain for a certain program a couple hours north of here.
Where my mom went to school?
Right,
Yeah.
where your mom went to school. And the reason I ask you this is because this is maybe the one thing on Craig Smith's resume that wasn't so great, is he didn't have a great record against State. How will you approach that rivalry and maybe take it for what it's worth in terms of its competitive tradition and history?
Well, you know, first of all, I used to go to those games when I was a kid. So it was, if I was lucky enough, you know, I've probably been to 5 or 6 growing up. We couldn't get over here from here, but we came down here, and I've also been to Frost Arena a number of times to watch those games. You know, I was there when they throw the jackrabbits out on the floor, and during timeouts, and if they were frozen, you know, they skidded really far, and if they were thawed out, it left a little bit of a mess. If I wasn't at the games, and my mom could tell you, I was listening to them on the radio. I grew up with this. You know, when I graduated high school, as I said, my dad, my brother, my uncle all went here. There's really only 2 schools I ever thought about. You know, I never thought about going to State. Don't worry about that. But the University of South Dakota was the only school I was going to go to. I could have maybe gone to a smaller school in State and tried to play basketball or played basketball. I really just wanted to go here. That's all. The only, maybe just being from a small town in South Dakota, I didn't know much better. I grew up with this rivalry. I know what it's like. You know, I know the passion. TJ and I know each other. I would say we're professional friends. We're not friends, but we're professional friends. We both coached in this business for a long time. I have a lot of respect for him. I have a lot of respect for his program. I think he does a great job. He respects me. I respect him. We're going to try to beat his butt in recruiting, coaching, camps. I mean, you just name it. We'll try to do better than what they do. That's a big deal. Those games are big deals in this state. I can't wait to play them. I tell you this, I'm going to compete as hard as I can with our guys, but I'm going to do it in a very respectful way. I'm not going to have a jackrabbit in my coat or anything like that. So, but it's something, as you know, when you have a big rival, you get judged. Whether you like it or not, you get judged on that. Comes with the head coach territory. You know, and our guys, you know, how many times you beat State? You beat them? Did you beat them in the championship? Comes with the territory. So if you like competition, which I do, you got to enjoy it.
Well, thank you all for being here. What an incredible crowd. How about one last round of applause for Coach Todd Lee?